Joe, I just want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast. This is a new podcast about personal development and about how people can, go to the next level with their careers. And since we're good friends, and you're an awesome real estate agent and broker, so tell me a little bit about your company.
Well, thanks for having me here. I work for Allison James Estates Homes. I am now the broker here for Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. I've been with this company a little over 10 years, and I've been in the business for over 30 years.
So how did you get started in this business?
Long story, but I used to work for my old man. He used to build schools, additions to the schools. So we traveled around the D.C. Beltway a lot, different counties, and Fairfax and PG all around, and he decided to retire early. So I wasn't quite ready to retire. I was too young for that. So had a long conversation with my wife. She had the steady job, school teacher. We try to live on her income with 2 kids. And I told her, I think I want to jump into the real estate business. And I told her it's going to be a little slow start.
How old were you when you decided to make that transition?
I guess I was probably about 25 years old.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, early start.
Early start. We had our own house. And so I jumped in, all in. It's a tough business. It's a commission base, and it was 1991. It was slow at that time of year. The market kind of crashed a little bit. And so I knew it was going to be a long haul for the first year or two, and I haven't looked back. I would never trade it in the world.
So you love the real estate business?
I love it. It's a passion of mine. It's not just a job. It's a passion. So.
Yeah. So did your construction background come into play?
Absolutely. I got into real estate, learned the basics, and I started buying properties because I needed some income. So I found a way to buy my first investment property, rehab it, made some money on it. And that was just another kick in the butt. So I went to a bank, and they gave me a line of credit. And every year they kept calling me back to raise my credit. So it was good.
So were you bootstrapping it? Were you in there doing the drywall and demolition?
Yeah, that's the way it was. It was
demo.
Save some money. I mean, we did the demo, we did the painting, or sometimes I had to hire a contractor because time-wise or a little too difficult for special trades. But no, that's how I got started. And I was still doing the real estate business as a realtor, and I was trying to make that grow, build my base of people that I work with, and let them know what I do. And you just got to communicate with these people to make sure they know you're in the business, because first thing they do, they forget you real quick if you don't keep reminding them. You got to remind them all the time.
Yeah, you have to really market yourself, don't you?
Yes, and it's not like having a friend one time call me and say, "Hey, Joe, come on over. Let's have a barbecue at my new house." And I said, "John, what are you talking about? I'm a realtor." He said, "Oh, I forgot." So it's my job for not reminding them. So that's one of the biggest things we have to do as realtors. We have to communicate that to everybody we know. I mean, we call it sphere of influence of people. It'd be friends, family, acquaintances, your doctors, your dentists, anybody you know, and anybody you come in acquaintance with. We gotta stay in contact. We should have a database of these people, and we can send them reminders. It could be postcards, newsletters. And the best thing to do is pick up the phone every once in a while and start talking to them. Just see how things are going, and not to ask them for the business, but ask them if they know anybody who's looking for it.
Oh, yeah, getting the referrals.
Exactly.
So over the 30 years or so that you've been doing the real estate, what has changed? What's the challenges, the opportunities, good or bad? What have you seen?
Things changed a lot since I got in the business. We didn't have computers or cell phones when I started. So we had to, we just build from it. I mean, it seems like every year is changing. There's always changes, and you got to ride with the wave. And if you don't ride with the wave, if you dwell on the problem or the change, you're not going to go very far. You got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And if you go with the flow, now we're dealing with AI, says all new stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always challenges, and you just got to find the path. You want to be the leader, not the follower. So don't wait. Go do something.
Yeah.
You got to be busy. You got to stay busy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay busy, not focus on the reward, but stay focused on what your job is and your task that you're doing to reach your goals.
Yeah.
Your goals will follow.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. As you know, being in personal development and business coaching, I'm always interested in people of how do they go about it? How did you keep yourself organized? And like you said, keep busy. I mean, we can stay busy, but not produce any results. So tell me a little bit about that in depth of how you went about that.
Well, you gotta learn. You gotta learn from others too. I mean, you're just out there, so you gotta find ways to what's going to actually create some business, right? So everyone has a different talent. You might have to try several things for yourself. I mean, like you can farm a neighborhood, where you send postcards, little knickknacks, you send them an ice cream scoop in August and say, you want the scoop of real estate, give me a call. Just a little knickknack to remind them, hey, I'm here for you with my name on it. More you reach out, the better. Now we have social media. I mean, I'm kind of weak in those social media, but, I do the advertising, which clients don't necessarily see because it's behind the scenes. But my personal pages were probably a little slow, but I'm working on that.
Well, you're doing a podcast today, so that's good.
That's a good start, right? That's good.
That's right. So, yeah, I mean, I can relate to you because I know that in my journey, being a businessman and being an investor in real estate too, I started, trying to build myself up, in 1991, took a lot of classes on trying to improve myself. Time management's huge, especially when you've got a lot going on. So it sounds like, you had a good pattern and, so you get any tools that you used for
There's always
staying focused? Tell me that. I mean, how do you your drive? Joe, you have a huge drive, man. How do you go about that?
I don't think I have a drive. I guess I just have the passion. I just enjoy see people achieving their goals. I mean, it's nothing like seeing a young family get their first house. Mm-hmm. I've been across where people couldn't get their first house, and I've shown them ways how they can do it. And there's challenges out there, but there's ways of getting there. As long as you got to have an income for sure. You got to have decent credit. That weak credit, there's some ways around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing like reaching them. If they're not ready, we help them prep them for that. So sometimes we stay in contact with these people for a couple of years, just to make sure they're ready and on the right track. We hook them up with the lenders and might help them with their credit.
Mm-hmm.
There's other companies out there that do that too, but we try to focus on that. But then there's nothing like other families are moving up and selling their houses. They have goals, and some are looking for investment properties themselves, or they're looking for that vacation home away from home.
And that's nice that you touch a little bit about that, because I don't think, with social media and everything, it's all digital. They think they can do it all themselves. And like what you're saying right now is you're bringing value to the agent. The agent's bringing value to the customer. And, I think that's something that's, it's an oversight sometimes with the client. They don't realize like how important it is to have an agent that has qualifications that can help them with their credit and so forth. To have that knowledge, it could be a home inspector and other things. But you go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we cover a lot of things. I mean, we actually wear many hats too. People have different issues or reasons why they're moving and personal problems they may have, and so we help them try to get through the process with their issues they may have, or just being happy. But there's also a lot of stages involved in real estate. We got a mortgage process we got to go through. We got to find the right lender. Some are more aggressive than others. Some are conservative. So we got to connect them to the right ones. Then we got home inspectors. We got to deal with appraisals. I mean, there's a list that goes on. And the contractors, we recommend them. We got to make sure they're licensed, make sure they're not, getting their eyes covered or anything. We want them to see what they're buying, and it's very important.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing. They don't realize that value sometimes when they're looking like, oh, let's care about the percentage, but there's a lot.
Yeah,
It goes a lot.
there's a lot more to it. So, I mean, there's some people just listen to property. They'll just stick a sign in the yard. Think that's all you got to do, but there's a lot more to it. So, I mean, let's be honest. You're going to pay what you're going to get. What you're willing to spend is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So, just make sure you do a little research. Have a resume from the realtors that you're working with. We got to, as agents nowadays, we got to show our value. And we should have it written out for the clients to see what we're doing, how we're doing it, because they're not going to be able to see it all. And it's because a lot of those stuff is behind the scenes. And we try to educate them that, but we got to write it out so they can see everything, exactly what we're going to do and build value.
Yeah. So tell me about your position as a broker. Do you have to take time to train some of your agents? I mean, is there a method to that?
Yeah, I kind of fell into this position, actually. It's about almost 8 years ago, I guess, or 10 years ago. They asked me to become the broker here in Maryland. The broker decided to move on, and then eventually they asked me to take D.C. and Virginia. I wasn't sure I want that job, and I didn't necessarily want to be a babysitter, I thought, but, it's after 3 weeks thinking about it, I decided to jump into it, and I wouldn't look back. I mean, I enjoyed helping the agents. I mean, nothing like seeing a new agent proceed. I had one who came from three different brokerages, couldn't sell a house or anything. She couldn't help anybody. She said, what can you do differently? Within 3 months, we got her first transaction. So she was very happy. So I tried to mentor these people as much as I can, but my job is really to make sure they have all the information they need, all the changes or anything like that. My job is to review all their contracts, make sure they dot their I's, cross their T's, make sure they're not missing anything, make sure we're protecting the clients. That's our first thing, is our consumers and clients. Make sure they're protected.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you share some of your ideas on how you can market and, your stories of how you've done, share some stories of some crazy deals that you put together.
I mean, there's always stories behind every one of them. I mean, we're looking for, I think right now, I guess from my experience, I think it's kind of smooth. The last few transactions I have, they say, man, we had a great smooth transaction. I say, yeah, that's what I expect from everybody. But yes, I think sometimes the agents don't focus on the right subject here. I think sometimes they're thinking of their bottom line and not helping the client. I think if we're helping the client and customers first, the rewards will come. They will follow. I think you just got to focus on that first.
Yeah.
Because every client is different, and everyone has different personalities, and that's the good thing about this job. I mean, I love and the passion. I don't know if I could ever work for a 9-to-5 job anymore, because I got to still deal with the same person every day, right? Here I got them for 60, 90 days, maybe a couple of years, and they're gone.
Yeah.
But they're happy. They usually call me back. That's what I want to hear, referral business. So if you're taking care of the clients, they feel that you're taking care of them, they feel happy about you, you're going to get more business from that. And that's what I focus on, is referral business.
Yeah. No, I can't agree with you any more than that. I mean, in my business, mine's a repeat business all the time in sales. And I'm always, that was my attitude too, looking out at the customer at all times, because they're going to refer me to other people, and also they're going to come back, and you get to build some relationships with these people. And I think you're right. Correct about that, is if you have that mindset of, I'm going to focus on the customer all the way through the end of the transaction, it's going to be a win-win situation.
Right.
And they're going to be building an experience and so forth. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So anything else you want to add? I mean,
well, you also want to talk about time management, right? So with time,
tell me a little, how do you do your time management?
So, I mean, that's where how much you love your job, right? I mean, to me, it's not a job. It's just part of my life. So, family has, when I had young kids, they knew that every once in a while we all had to go show a house together because, you know, time management. You got to do what you can and when you can. So, but you got to cut out time for family too, though. You got to have that time. It's very important to spend time with the family. I spend a lot of time with my son with baseball, my daughter in soccer. So that's important. So you got to make sure that's first, but you got to commingle a little bit with that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, I know that in sales, sometimes it's not always equal. There's
No.
the times when you're really getting after it, and you just it demands a lot of your time.
it does.
And then sometimes you can have some rewards. Say, you know what, I'm gonna take some time off and go and enjoy some of the fruits of your labor. So
Right.
it is a tricky balance. But that's cool, man. I really, it's really interesting to hear you say that. And also I think too is like you said, you're passionate about what you're doing, and having that vision too. I think combining those two together, having the passion about something and also seeing like, hey, where do I want to be in 5-10 years from now in my real estate career, and having a time to map that out and say, okay, what are some things and some steps that I need to take and put in place to achieve it? Because it doesn't come, from osmosis. It just doesn't happen, miracles just happen. You know what I mean? You have
Correct.
to.
So I try to teach the agents I work with, you got to have a vision board too. Nothing like having something right in front of you where you're working at your desk. Maybe your expensive toy that you want, a boat or whatever you might want, a fancy car, a house. Some people just want a house. They're still young and they just want a house. But you also got to have written out goals for your business too. What is your goal for the year? Break it down per month and then drop it down to a week, and make that marks what you want to reach that week and each day.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, that was one of the things that I started really young, and having that vision of some of the things that I wanted to try to capture and get. But on the same token, I was like, hey, how am I going to go about doing this? You know what I mean? So I had to really read a ton of books on business management and sales and time management, and I mean, my gosh, I've tons of books about stuff. Just self-educating myself because I wanted it, and I
Right.
really wanted to take it to the next level, and it just takes time. That's the one thing I would say to anybody is that it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't,
It
and
does
that's
not.
and I think that's something that if they're in line with, like you said, with the passion that what they want to do, and they're willing to put that time in and then have that vision, there's no doubt that they're going to meet their expectations. They're going to hit their goals.
Right.
It's just a matter of time, and having that discipline too, and that grit to like grind through it, because there's going to be times where it's like, oh my God, I've spent all this time on this deal, and it looks like it's getting ready to fall apart. And and sometimes they do, and you just have to pick yourself up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get back out there and do it again. And I'm sure you've had some
Yeah.
stories like that.
Well, the biggest problem we have in our business, people are afraid of the word no, right? You got to get past that. I mean, I have so many agents, and even myself, where, hey, I've been rejected. And when you get rejected, man, it kind of hits you in the heart. But you just got to pick yourself up and say, hey, they just don't understand that they need me, and they just don't know it. It's my job. I didn't explain it right. So let's go on to the next one, and we'll make sure we get it right next time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, you got to keep plugging away. I mean, let's be honest with you. The realtors in this business right now, fallout rate is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Exactly.
you really want this business, you got to have, like you said, the grit and the grind, and you got to dig in there and do it. I mean, some people work too hard trying to cross the T's and dot the I's and read too much, but the bottom line is just get in there and do the task, and things will happen. If you got a good broker like myself here, I'll help you with all the paperwork. It's just get it going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Exactly. Just don't give up. Just keep grinding at it.
Yeah, you
It'll
can't,
happen.
you can't stop. Some of us will knock it out the first week. Some of us might take a year or two. It's just do it
Yeah. And
if you
and,
want it.
and the rewards are there. when you at the end, they're gonna, it's nice having a nice commission check.
There's no doubt have a nice commission check. And be honest, you got to do the grind and do your task, and you got to have it written out, and you got to follow it. You can't just let it fall through the cracks, because this is your business.
Yep.
And if you really want to succeed, you got to keep it going. And there's not a salary paycheck coming in each week for you. You got to do the grind.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I tell you, Joe, I appreciate you coming on my podcast, man, and you're a good friend, and if I can help out any of your agents with any personal development, coaching, feel free to, send them my website, MyerSolutions.com, and Joe, see you out on the water, man.
Jim, thank you. And you've been a good friend, and I'm looking forward to the summer. And I'll pass your name on out there. Let's see what we can do.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks,
Joe.
sir.
See you.